Good afternoon and welcome back to Istanbul Park. Here we go for the TropheoPirelli race, round 6 in the Ferrari Challenge, which is about to get underway. As we see, wearing our helmet camera there, Ezequiel Perez Compact. This is where we are. We are at Istanbul, having been to Monza, Mugello, Brno, Portimao, Silverstone, and still to come between the 3rd and the 6th of December, the World Finals in Abu Dhabi. Check it out at corsaclienti.com. That is the website for all the information with regards to the Ferrari Challenge. These fantastic 458s about to unleash their power. And Bjorn Grossman unleashed his power right in the closing stages of qualifying this morning to set a time that gives him a pole position for Octane 126. Istanbul then, as we travel into Turkey, and we head off to Abu Dhabi next for the World Finals. But 2 races to come from the TropheoPirelli bunch of cars. First, alongside me is Charlie Hollings, top driver coach. Charlie, this is a really fascinating 5.3 kilometre circuit. It is, yes. Only did a few laps yesterday, actually, with one of the Shell drivers I was coaching, Jack Driver. But yeah, really interesting. Good challenge for everyone. I don't think many guys have actually been here previously, so it's quite interesting to see who's adapting the quickest and yeah, who's getting on top of things. And Jacques did really well in his race earlier, and has to be said, Alex and I were talking quite in very nice terms about you and how you motivated him during qualifying, but not actually quite telling him the truth as to how quick he was. Yeah, no, he was on pole for the first half, then there was a red flag with 8 minutes to go, so we just said he was comfortably sat in kind of 3rd or 4th, just keeping him relaxed. So told him he had to push in the last sector, kind of last part of qualifying, so which he did, and he went quickest again anyway, so he went pole. So yeah, he had his race there actually was he was okay, but he didn't really get dry running yesterday because he actually had a crash, so that was the first first run for him in the dry. There's Raffaele Giannoni then. Final preparations for Raffaele Giannoni, who goes from P2 on the grid. And this man, Ezequiel Perez Compact, both Giannoni and Ezequiel are AM drivers. There's 2 categories here. There's pro drivers and AM drivers, and Ezequiel Perez Compact top of the chart in terms of the AM drivers at the moment. He's going from P3, and he is wearing our helmet camera, as you can see there. And alongside him is Daniel D'Amato. Now, Daniel D'Amato leads the pro category of the championship, and he will be starting from P4. I know we've mentioned this before, Charlie, and there's very little difference actually between the pro and the AM categories, is there? Yeah, it just depends how some of the guys have kind of, if they've maybe been in the series for a couple of years and they maybe feel that they want that pro status sometimes, but I don't think there's much difference between all of them. There's not full-blown kind of paid drivers in there, but there are some that are certainly a bit more experienced and kind of certainly on the pace of genuine kind of professional drivers. Gorgeous colour scheme from the Auto Roper car for Henrik Hedman, who goes from P6. And alongside it will be Vadim Gitlin in car number 72. So there is Vadim being... He drove a great race at Brno, wasn't it, earlier in the year, where he won with very little experience. So. And of course he's being tutored by Sergei Chukhanov, former champion, of course. So good guy to have on your side and teaching you the ropes. Yeah, very much so. And we were talking about the construction of this circuit in the Copa Shell race rather, and track surface is very like Rockingham in the water absorption, because of course we had rain this morning. Qualifying was run sort of part wet, part dry, wasn't it? But it's dried out very quickly. It has, yeah. It just when the sun comes through, it dries it up very quickly. But this grid, I think, will be very interesting with a drying session as it finished. Yeah, slightly, I would say, slightly mixed, maybe. I think you're right. Yeah, I think D'Amato will be the guy to watch. But yeah, a strange surface round here. The lap times wet to dry aren't actually that
much different, you know, relative to a lot of circuits. Maybe only 3-4 seconds where it would normally be 8 or 10 or something.
So as we look at Henrik Hedman's car, then the Rosso Corsa car of Tommaso Rocca, who at many points during qualifying this morning looked very, very quick indeed. So he'll be one to keep an eye on, perhaps from P9, another one of those AM drivers. This is where we're at. Istanbul Park then, and it is round 6 of the Ferrari Challenge. The TropheoPirelli cars about to be let go for their race 1 of 2 across this weekend before, remarkably, the season comes to a close in the United Arab Emirates in but a few weeks' time at Abu Dhabi. Pole sitter is Bjorn Grossman alongside his Raffaele Giannoni. Here's a hot lap of this track right now.
Hi, my name is Bertuzzi. Welcome to Istanbul City Park.
Okay, we are on the front straight. Finish line over here, start line. There's a heavy braking and we go down to 4th gear. We try to keep the car on the left over here because there's a right turn that goes uphill to another blind braking point. It's very important to keep the right side over here because there is an S turn. So you stay on the left over here and then immediately go downhill on the right side. You want to cut on the curb, so it helps you to turn a little bit. And then there's a longer left-hander over here, double apex. You go wide over here, you cut down the edge over here, and then you stay flat all the way down to the end of this straight that goes downhill to a very, very heavy braking over here. And you try to reach the curb over here, so then you can go back on the gas and use all the track to go up the hill and go towards the probably most difficult part of this circuit, this very long left-hander. So you go to the inside and then you let the car go to the outside over here, and then you try to exit as fast as you can because you're projected over a very long straight. It goes down the hill. You go all the way down there, and then another heavy braking. Thanks to the ABS of this incredible car, you can really turn into the curb over here and then go up the hill again, cut on the curbs, use all the track to keep up the speed, and then you will go on a very, very fast, the fastest point of the track is right-hander, and here you reach almost 270 kilometers an hour. And then you're going to go under this bridge, you will do a very heavy braking, boom, over here. You go down to 3rd gear, get on the curb here to make this left and keep left because there is immediately another right hand over here. So you want to stay on the right here as well, and then go on this curb and try to get on the gas again and finish the lap. This is the Istanbul Park circuit.
Thanks very much. Constantino Bertuzzi then takes us for a hot lap around this Istanbul circuit. Reminder to you, the finale, Mondiali 2014, Abu Dhabi, 3rd to the 6th of December. Now, doing that hot lap with Bertuzzi, Charlie, the turn 8 sequence, which is like 3 turns in one, isn't it?
Yes,
That's hard to get right.
No, it's definitely a challenge for these guys. Obviously, when you see in previously in Formula 1, it looks maybe slightly easier nearly because the cars have got more downforce and they kind of suit that kind of corner. But these cars are moving around a lot. The first 3 parts of the corner, you hold the car reasonably tight and then let it run wider.
So that's the key. you let the car take you out a little bit around there before you come back in because of that sequence. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Here is the grid in full then. Grossman and Giannoni occupy the front row. Then we see Esquiel, Perez, Compac and Daniel D'Amato. So it's a Pro P1, Pro P4, 2 AMs in between P2 and P3. It'll be very interesting to see. Bertuzzi then, Constantino Bertuzzi, who just took us on that hot lap, is P5. Henrik Hedman is P6. Vadim Gitlin is P7 with Martin Nelson P8. So the next couple of rows of the grid from row 3 and row 4. Tommaso Roca, then Alex Martin P10. It's further down the order because of success penalties that he takes in the grid. Then it's Florian Merckx and Alexis Di Bernardi P11 and P12. Alessandro Vezzoni is P13. Dario Carzo, very, very disappointing qualifying that sees him P14 and P15 for Giacomo Strata on board with the safety car as it takes us away on this formation lap. Bjorn Grossman, of course, hugely experienced in the Ferrari Challenge, came very, very close to winning the championship. He's back in the challenge now in the Octane 126, and I think we saw, Charlie, from qualifying just how good Bjorn can be.
Yes, yeah, you can just see when someone, it was wet at the start, having to get the slicks on, and you just see that kind of touch of experience and class and everything else when you can get the tyres on at the right time. The laps were getting quicker and quicker, timed himself perfectly and did it on the last lap.
How much of that timing would have been down to him and how much would it have been down to the team? Because I think he had 3 seconds to spare. That's how close it was.
Yeah, so some of it is, some of it's down to the team, always kind of their guidance and things. I'm not sure exactly from his side what he was having from the pit wall and so on, and the radio communication, but as a driver it's often up to you to create your own space. The team can only do what they can see on the pit wall, and obviously there's other forms of information you sometimes get, but which go a lot more advanced as you get higher up the levels. But here a lot of the time it's kind of make your space and get on with it. So maybe that 3 seconds was perfect timing, or maybe it was good team strategy, or maybe just a bit of luck, but that all tends to come together when you're doing well. So.
Yeah, that's right. It could have been a combination of all of those things. What it did mean was, no one had a chance to come back at him at that point, did they? He was going to blast that in right at the end of the session.
He'll have certainly been looking for a clear space, and but at that stage of qualifying, when everyone's pushing, when the track's drying right at the end, you should generally be quite lucky that the kind of flow of traffic is always fast.
Yes.
But you only need one person to run wide, come back on in front of you, and suddenly that stunning lap that you're on is in the past, and you're sat down in P10 or something because you haven't put the lap together. So he's obviously done that, put his lap together, and it's going to be an interesting race.
And that's often the gamble, isn't it? And I've seen on a number of occasions this year when people have chosen to leave it right until the very last part of qualifying to go out and blast that hot lap, and they've maybe missed it by tenths because they've got, they just didn't leave quite at the right time or whatever. So it's a gamble that if it pays off, it's great, but sometimes it can go the other way as well.
Yes, yeah, you always try and get the best track conditions, temperatures, everything else, rubber down on the circuit, everything kind of combined together. You always try and get the best opportunity you can, but sometimes that might gain you a tenth or two of a second over a lap, which is a lot in some areas. But at the same time, if you miss that lap and you lose half a second or more, and because you don't get it together, or you're in the risk of red flags and things. But it's going to be an interesting race now with these guys, and they're all, I think, reasonably happy. I think Carzo will be the one. Maybe he didn't get his slicks on at the end and he stayed on wets. I know some guys didn't change, and then maybe Carzo's one of them. So it'd be interesting to see people coming through the field.
Interesting is definitely a word that you always use with Dario Carzo, because he will be fighting from his position P14 to move up the order. Is P2 in the pro points. We throw the lights to the top of the screen then, all red at the Mo. As soon as the lights go out to green, we're away and racing. Bjorn Grossman and Raphael Giannoni side by side, but Grossman does well. Is Perez Compac going to dive up the inside? No, Giannoni manages to go through.
Big contact.
That's a big
into Giannoni.
That's Florian Merckx, who, that was a real daredevil move from P11, so way down the order.
Yeah, a bit silly there as well, because he got on the inside, and I think, to be fair to Merckx, it's certainly 100% his mistake, but the circuit's been wet this morning. He's probably still quite moist under there and just couldn't slow the car up.
Well, he's managed to get the car around and out of harm's way, but my goodness me, that was
right. D'Amato's been caught in that as well. He's right at the back there. Right, this is going to be interesting to see Daniele come through now, but yeah, they've all kind of settled down now. So I don't know if D'Amato's been caught in that initial incident or if that's something separate, but I would imagine so.
We'll see it in replay in a moment. Dario Carzo battling there with Alex Martin, but the lead is with Bjorn Grossman, who converted that P1 starting position into P1 on track.
D'Amato already on the move there. Look at that, round the outside at turn 8, I think that was. So yeah, impressive, but he'll be fired up to come back through, because he's had stunning pace in the dry. Oh, there we go, there Merckx's car, so that's more damage than, oh, now we know what the damage is. That'll be coming in the pits, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's no way that's going to continue, is there?
Oh,
so
here we go.
Here's the replay. Let's see what happens here, Charlie, because he came from, well, there's just no way he was going to scrub that speed off, was he? And that must have done damage to Giannoni's car.
Yes, yeah, I haven't seen Giannoni again.
Whoa, that was a side swipe and a half.
I'm just not quite sure where D'Amato ends up there, whether he just gets, there you go, just gets pushed wide, yeah, in
has
avoidance.
To run wide to avoid, doesn't he?
Wheel-to-wheel stuff here, that's...
Vadim Gitlin goes through on the number 97 car of Tommaso Rocca. Oh, the back steps out there.
I think this looks like it's going to be quite an aggressive race, doesn't it? You just get that feeling that, yeah, they're getting stuck in today, so...
I think you're absolutely right, man. On a move there is Giacomo Strata, the new livery for Giacomo Strata, as he dives past Tommaso Rocca as well. And Rocca's in all sorts of strife with the back end of that car, just looking really, really unsettled.
Yes, yeah, just struggling a little bit at the moment. Interesting, Giacomo Strata yesterday had a similar crash to Jacques Driver, actually, in... yeah, with similar damage on the car. There we go. There's D'Amato right around the outside of Alex Martin.
Now, Alex has lost a whole bunch of places there. I wonder whether he's got a problem with that car. Yeah, you can see a whale tailing at the back. Is that a puncture?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, he's lost so many places, because there is Carzo, and Carzo was battling with him just a lap ago.
Yeah, it's just the only thing that I've noticed through the weekend so far around here is the AstroTurfs really collect the water.
Yes.
And people seem to drop a wheel on them, and normally a lot of circuits absorb quite quickly the kind of moisture when the sun's on it. But these just sit really, really wet. And so whether when people just drop a wheel on the outside of the circuit, they seem to be losing more time than often they do on other tracks. But let's see, that's Carzo down the inside, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Carzo's really on a charge now. He was the one that really needed to make good, wasn't he? And Carzo moves up another place. So Dario Carzo, you're absolutely right in calling it with regards to Astro, because Alex is back on the pace again now. So clearly not.
I just think he's maybe got a wheel off, and it just takes a couple of corners to clean it up, and then you lose that momentum, and you soon shuffle back. Oh, somebody's debris from something there. Carzo hit it quite hard, actually. So let's hope there's no tyre damage or anything there.
Well, if anyone was going to hit it, it was always going to be Dario, to be honest with you. He's that kind of a driver, isn't he? Absolutely 120% commitment. What a lap time from Bjorn Grossman, though. 2:01.185. And Ezequiel Perez compact at 2:01.498. So he's a full 3/10 quicker, isn't he?
Yes, yeah. And I think Grossman, knowing his experience and his kind of, how he's been here before, I think he'll be quite comfortable throughout this race. And I think Perez compact also will do the same. I'd be interested in these next few laps to see Gitlin and Strata and Carzo as they kind of bunch up for third place overall. And I think that could be quite an interesting race as the laps tick away. Of
course, Grossman's got absolutely no one ahead of him, has he? He's got a clear track, so he can get on.
Giannoni there, obviously his car got a big hit at the start. It was just showing the blue and white car there.
Yes.
But was that Giannoni? It didn't look very damaged, actually, but
it took a fair hit, didn't it?
Yeah. Carzo and D'Amato. So,
no! Both. Oh, that is the worst. Well, that is the worst nightmare for both of them. Both of them are fighting hard in the points. D'Amato, look, is stuck on that track. Surely he can get that car fired up again.
There's a team.
And he does.
Doors open, and that's a pain because that's his passenger side, so he can't physically get to that without undoing his. He's had a problem. No, he's coming in the pits. That's the end of his.
That's broken. That's rear end.
So that's Carzo down the inside, but the doors. Yeah. And you can see Carzo would have had his right wheels nearly on the grass on the inside there. So
now, in that situation, Charlie, Dario was alongside, wasn't he?
Yeah, he came from a long way back, and he had got the car down the inside. Let's just see this. Yeah, he had got the car down the inside. D'Amato probably should have just, you know, I wouldn't say it was his fault, but if he could have given him a bit more room, he might have got through the corner and you know, race on and see what comes next.
In the Copa race, we saw exactly the same with Jacques Diver, your driver, and he yielded.
Yeah, at some stage you've just got to, you know, it's up to you. You can make it hard for them. Ooh, there you see that AstroTurf. See how hard it was when they see the water coming up, and then
really unsettles, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you can obviously fight the corner as much as possible, but if you make that decision to, although the car's slowed actually after his, so maybe that's a light bit of contact that's. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Kind of crab into, yeah.
Well,
I think there's certainly some suspension damage there.
Martin Nelson's race is done. That's a great shame.
Yeah, just strangely, it didn't actually look as though they touched, but maybe they just. It doesn't. Yeah, it looks as though it's that right rear there.
I wonder whether, even before he'd gone off wide, whether something broke.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, but going back to the incident before, it's always hard to, you kind of got to make the decision yourself to how much space you give another car and at what point you yield, and you know, there'll always be two sides to every argument and everything else, but yeah, you could say it's a racing incident there. I don't think either driver did anything stupid. Carzo's move was good, but it was quite late, but at the same time maybe D'Amato could have given that slight bit more space.
This is interesting. The incident involving cars number 25 and
D'Amato,
27.
yeah.
So that's D'Amato and Vezzoni. So that's an incident we didn't see, I think.
Yes, yeah.
The message I expected to be flashed up was with regards to you know, investigation into what happened with D'Amato and Carzo, as a little bit of explanation is going on there.
Yeah, I think he should just quietly wander back to the garage actually, because he seems to be. Here we go.
But that's.
Yeah, I mean it's still quite late. Yeah,
it's not Carzo. It's not Carzo. It was Vezzoni.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah, that's our mistake there.
We got that wrong. That wasn't Dario Carzo. Apologies, Big Dario. There's Florian. So Carzo, P5, no surprise, because it was Alessandro Vezzoni and Daniel D'Amato. So we still think that Vezzoni probably, although he came from a long way back, he was alongside, wasn't he? And
yeah, he was kind of, I wouldn't say he was full. I think there'll be a bit of an argument that from Daniele D'Amato that the move was too late, and it probably was borderline, but it was still there. I don't think he did anything too bad, but we'll see. Let the stewards decide on that one.
Yeah, no further investigation.
Alex Martin there. He's so where's Alex running now? So P8 overall and P4 in Pro. So he'll want to push that into a podium, and it's actually. Yeah, he's actually in the battle there, isn't he, Phil?
Yeah.
Third in Pro, so Alex will be pushing for that, pick up another podium.
So this is our race leader, who we've hardly seen anything of because there's been so much going on behind. Bjorn Grossman then, who is being chased there by Ezequiel Perez Compact. So it's P1 in Pro, P1 in AM, it's P1 and P2 we're looking at in the race overall. Ezequiel Perez Compact is P2 at the moment. And last time around he was 1.6 down on the race leader. Wearing our helmet camera in this is Ezequiel Perez Compact, who is chasing that Bjorn Grossman car.
I think Ezequiel, yeah, he was 2 tenths quicker than Grossman on the previous lap. Oh, there we go, Alex Martin there, side by side through the fast right-hander.
He gets him.
Gear, just coming up to 7th on the exit, so well, down on the way out before you break into the hairpin. So quick corner, so that's good. He's through, and yeah, 3rd position in Pro class.
So here's Pro class podium is there, and this is how he did it. He just pulled out of the draft, didn't he? And well,
yeah, he did well to get out of there actually. Get out well enough, because he did the move on the way in, and often you can lose that momentum onto the long back straight, but because he's actually kept, yeah,
you've scrubbed the speed, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, so it's important not to let them come back at you after that.
And as a coach, that must be something that you tell your drivers, because it's not only the entry, but how you take the entry is actually going to, it's going to influence how you do the exit as well.
It's a corner where you've got to be really sure that you can get out of it well if you do make the move on the way in, because there's no point in diving down the inside into turn, I think it's at turn 9, we call it, turn 9, and then having a bad run all the way out. So, yeah. But Alex has got that done, and yeah, now he's pulling away.
He's on the way, isn't he?
Yes, yeah.
Car number 88 of Florian Merckx is being reported after the session to race control. Quelle surprise. Right, there is Gitlin, who is P3 in the race overall, P2 in AM.
There was us commenting, sorry, on Gitlin, saying possibly he might get a bit of pressure from Carzo, but he's actually the quickest car on the circuit the last lap, Gitlin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, see how, he's certainly not lacking in pace.
And Dario is someone that just charges and charges and charges and takes so much out. But we will see. There is Bertuzzi.
We seem like we've had a lot of racing so far in this race, but we're only 12 minutes into a 30-minute race. So, yeah, a lot to go, so a lot can still change as they close up.
Abu Dhabi is the venue for the World Finals, the Finale Mondiale on the 3rd through to the 6th of December in the United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi. What a fantastic event that's going to be at the Yas Marina circuit. We're at Istanbul this weekend as we watch the Dextra lighting car of Alex Martin, who is P3 in the pro category. At the moment on track, he is P7 in the race overall. So we have a pro driver leading in Bjorn Grossman, then it's 2 AM drivers, Perez Kompank and Vadim Gitlin, P2 and P3, then it's Dario Carzo, P4.
Just having a look at Alex Martin again,
yes.
His last lap was a 3-0, but based on the car in front, Rocker on a 4-1, 2-minute 4.1. So, yeah, he's taken a lot of time out of him on the last lap, so I think that will develop into a little battle over the next, over the next few laps when he catches him.
So there is Alex Martin, the very driver that we were talking about. There is Bertuzzi, who Alex got past a couple of laps ago and has now pulled out quite a margin over Bertuzzi, who in turn is being chased by Henrik Hedman. Here is the replay of the start where we see once again that move. Perhaps they were all jostling for positions, weren't they? Now, there's Ezequiel Perez Kompank, and then to the right-hand side of the screen comes Florian Merckx. Gets the car airborne and, well, takes Raphael Giannone. Let's see it from Ezequiel Perez Kompank, who is not going to get the best view of this because he's wearing a helmet camera. Gets a brilliant view of it, actually.
He'll have, I'm not saying love that moment, knowing that, yeah, in case anyone was hurt or anything else, but that when they circuit, the cars just disappear in front of you and the circuit's clear and off he goes.
Christian Bertzinger there from Octane 126, who can see that his driver is leading this race and leading it relatively comfortably as well. The number 84 car with Ezequiel Perez Kompank in P2, and Ezequiel's taken a few tenths out of Grossman on that lap.
Yes, yeah, the gap's actually closing all the time, isn't it? It's only very small, but it's not much. The only thing I would say about Ezequiel, he's very focused on winning the AM Championship this year, and although he wants to gain every kind of little extra position he can, an overall wins would be huge for him. I think he's
going to bang the points.
I think when he closes up on Grossman, there's not that much of a speed difference between them, so it'd be interesting to see if he goes for it and tries to pass him or not. But I don't know if he, I think as he closes up, they'll kind of fall into station a little bit, and yeah, but we'll see anyway. Let's hope he gets there first and creates a battle.
As we've said on many occasions previously, it's all very well to close up, isn't it? But you've still got to find a way round, and Grossman's not going to be an easy guy to overtake, that's for sure, because they are so similar on pace.
The only thing that must be said is, yeah, he might not have any choice but to try and battle him with Grossman, because Gitlin's actually catching them every lap now. So, he's going to have to, if Gitlin's coming up behind him, then he's going to have to make the move if he can. But I think they're all, yeah, quite similar in pace, these three.
You're right. Gitlin took a couple of tenths out of him last lap, didn't he? And in the meantime, Bjorn Grossman doing a 2:03.355 and Perez Compact a 2:02.898, so 5/10 there. Fastest lap came on lap 2 from Bjorn Grossman, which was a 2:01.185. So now with nothing ahead of Grossman, 2:01.185 to 2:03.355. That's a big difference, Charlie.
Yes, yeah. No, it's yeah, well, yeah. The drop off certainly is quite big there. So you can see that even in the AM session, the Shell session qualifying earlier in the day, their pole time when it was fully wet and raining was a 2 minute 6.1. So only kind of 3 seconds off what they're doing now in the dry race. So yeah.
Okay, Grossman turned the wick up a little bit there as Florian Merck sits down and discusses what went on. A 2:03.167 from Grossman, 2:03.390 from Perez Compact, but a 2:02.711 from Gitlin, which reinforces the point you were making. Gitlin is beginning to harry Ezequiel Perez Compact now. And
Gitlin, he's chasing that for a class win there, an AM win, so he's not just thinking an overall podium.
No.
He's got the opportunity of winning, so yeah, he's that's going to be good to watch, actually.
So we have just on 13 minutes of this race remaining. You're watching the driver that's P3 on track, but P2 in class at the moment, Vadim Gitlin. The Kessel Racing driver, Ronnie Kessel, then with great success in the Copa Shell race earlier. Is that a mistake there from Perez Compact? Just ran a bit too much of the curb?
Yeah, you do touch that inside curb there.
Right.
It didn't look too bad, but it was hard to know if it kind of forced him wide on the exit then, which compromises your final corner then. I mean, as you watch them come around visibly now, he's looking closer all the time. Ooh, you can see Gitlin is pushing, but yeah, I mean, tenths of a second in racing terms can often sound a lot, but in reality it's not a lot. And yeah, as you know, when visibly to see it, it's hard to tell. But he is certainly closing up. And it only takes that few laps just to get that little bit closer, and then suddenly Perez Compact could go into that slightly defensive mode, and there he is. He'll be on him.
May I throw another 13mm socket into the mix here? Well, probably a 19mm socket, and that is Dario Carzo, who's P4 at the moment, who was quicker than the top three, a 2:02.691 from Dario Carzo. Now he's quite some distance back, but we still have 11 and a bit minutes to run in this race.
Yes, yeah, as you know, with Ferrari Challenge, the races are relatively long for sprint races, and the tyres do go off a lot because the cars are extremely quick in a straight line, but don't have a huge amount of aero, so the tyres are doing a lot. They're kind of sliding around a little bit and moving around. So yeah, we'll just see how Carzo, with his experience and everything else, kind of pushes on at the end of the race. Maybe he might just have something up his sleeve. Yeah.
Sheer utter determination as well from Carzo generally. Right, so Grossman leads from Ezequiel Perez Compact, from Vadim Gitlin then, the 1, 2, 3. So it's pro driver that leads, then it's two AM drivers that you see in your screen there, Ezequiel Perez Compact and Vadim Gitlin. Then it's Dario Carzo. The next pro driver is actually P4 on the track, and just trying to reel in Vadim Gitlin. He's within sight, I would say, as there's P1, P2 and P3, and just over the brow came the P4 driver.
Yes, yeah, so they're all they're at that distance as well, where Perez Compact, I think that was a little bit of a moment there for Grossman, a bit of a slide. Yeah, you can see that. See how suddenly he just had a little bit of a moment halfway through turn 8. You could just see the car slightly out of shape, and yeah, we'll look on the sector times or the lap times as they come round, but I think he'll look like, yeah, you can see there visibly now, Perez Compact suddenly just from nowhere
is right
only
on
takes that tiny mistake, and you're nearly in, it's not quite there, but nearly in that overtaking kind of place, big kind of opportunity.
And Gitlin as well, much closer on, much closer now on Perez Compact also. So there is Perez Compact now right on Bjorn Grossman. You're absolutely right, you've called that perfectly. And the thing is now, where the 1, 2, 3 and also the 4 are, it's only going to take one mistake and you're going to be right on the gearbox, aren't you?
Yes, and the thing now, I mean, if Grossman just drives his pace, he'll be fine, but if he starts to defend for just 1 or 2 corners, suddenly, boom, kind of Gitlin's going to be there, and only takes 2 or 3 laps, and Karza will be there with him as well. But you would imagine Grossman will be fairly comfortable with the kind of pressure of Perez Compact. But like we were talking about before, I think if there was no one behind Perez Compact, I think he would sit there and be fairly safe. But he's not going to want to give away his AM lead either. So if he has to, he'll certainly be trying to make the move.
He is going to fight, isn't he? So we're on board with Perez Compact then, who's wearing our helmet cameras. You
can see, Grossman, another little slide, and I think his rear tyres are really going off now, actually. Just missed his apex, and you can see as he went on the throttle out of there, he was struggling.
So all of a sudden, he's having to manage that, isn't he? He's having to manage tyres where they are dropping off now, and he's having to manage that while he's being attacked at the same time.
Yes, yeah. The important thing for him is just kind of get the car turned in the corner, get the angle nice, and kind of get the car rotated and just get a nice clean drive out of the corner. But you can see there he's moving around a bit more, the car. That's Alex Martin, isn't it, now behind Rocker? So yeah, up for P6 overall, I think.
Yes, and he's lining up Roker ahead of him, and well, the leaders have just gone through turns 9 and 10.
I think you'll see Alex force his way through fairly quickly with that one, actually.
Right, down through turn 11, which is taken absolutely flat. There goes Grossman. There's Ezequiel Perez Compact before heavy braking before turn 12. And it's at turn 12 where we're seeing 1 or 2 moves. People trying to dive up the inside. Vadim Gitlin is right on Perez Compact now. In fact, Gitlin is closer to Perez Compact than he is to Bjorn Grossman as they go through that sequence of 12-13. And
Gitlin straight down the inside.
He's done it. He left.
That's a great move, and just squeeze him onto the AstroTurf now. Yeah, perfect.
But Compact left the door open, didn't he?
Yeah, I just don't think. Well, Gitlin did a great job there. He literally hadn't even made any. Slight opportunity, slight kind of inkling that he was going to overtake before, and just literally pounced as soon as that first opportunity came. And that's nearly the way to do it. If you just get to the car, go for it, get the job done, and completely surprised Perez Compact there. So really good move.
Well, hopefully we'll see that again in replay, because that was a great move, and Ezequiel Perez Compact has gone down the order. So now Bjorn Grossman is going to have a different pursuer in the likes of Vadim Gitlin, then the AM driver who has managed to get past that number 90 car. Here it is again.
Here we go. Just here, sits here, and just literally drives straight into the space. I mean, Perez Compact there, very aware as well. See there, he just turns out.
Yes.
So he, needed a bit of cooperation, but a great move. Just pounced very quickly and easily alongside and the rest, and just gave him room, but just squeezed him onto the exit curb. Nice, good drive out of the corner.
And to be fair, he is leaving Ezequiel now, isn't he?
Yes, yeah, and he's getting straight on with it, chasing down Grossman. So, yeah, be interesting to see how keen he's going to be on getting the overall win. And I think looking at how his kind of championship sits and things, he probably will be. I think he'll get stuck in and go for a race win.
He's way down the order in the championship, so he has got less to lose, as it were, than Ezequiel Perez Compact in terms of banking points. So surely he's going to go all out now to try and take the race win.
I think if he gets there, if he can get up behind Grossman, I think he'll get stuck in and have a go.
Well, we have 5.5 minutes left to run in this race.
Ooh, Ezequiel just having a slide there. Won't be helping his rear tyres at this stage of the race, but looks as though he's just struggling a bit now. That's probably rattled him a bit there as well, because he was having a nice comfortable race from the start, closing up into Grossman in second all race, and then suddenly from nowhere he's overtaken. So, is that? Oh no.
He was taking a look. He wasn't quite close enough.
I would say Gitlin would be better now, not making any moves and just waiting and having a go at that spot where he did it last time, because I think it'll take people completely by surprise. There he goes.
I don't think he's going to be prepared to wait, Charlie.
No, he's problem if he does that too much, then Grossman's going to start defending more and back him up into Perez Compact, and he's literally just drives down the
But to be fair, Grossman is sideways with that car, isn't he? The rear tyres, you could see that the car was drifting out, and Gitlin just sniffs an opportunity, doesn't he?
Just fires it in there. He's certainly good on the brakes, and he's got good traction here as well. So
They're going to be side by side.
Let's see, he switches straight back. Now he just needs to gather himself together a bit more, Gitlin, and not stick his nose in there, but just get right up behind him, wait for a clear opportunity, and just... That's not going to help him on that run-off, but
no.
He's actually okay there. He's got away with it.
So we're watching the battle for the lead outright in this race between Bjorn Grossman, who's P1 there. Then P2 is Vadim Gitlin. This is where he set up the move on Ezequiel Perez Compact last time around. Don't think he's close enough, is he, to Bjorn Grossman?
No, but I didn't think he was to Ezequiel Compact last time, and this could be quite good actually, because Grossman might not know the moves kind of there to be done, and let's see if he does a similar. I reckon he's going to go. Is he going to go again? Yeah, he is. He is. Is it going to pay off this time?
Oh, it is. Well, that's twice in 2 laps.
And he's going to have lost so much traction now.
That is twice in 2 laps.
And he's, as long as he gets through this corner and Grossman doesn't come straight back at him, and that's him done. He's away. Absolutely great moves there, I think. Completely unexpected overtaking point. And I think tomorrow when we watch the racing, a few other guys will be trying that, because they'll have watched back.
Charlie, what I don't understand is Grossman's been in the lead. He's been setting very, very fast times, as we see the overtake again in replay. It was a carbon copy of earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit close. It could have nearly gone a bit wrong there. It was, but again, both just gave enough space. I think Gitlin was ready to back out if he needed to. But Grossman hung around the outside. Obviously got on that wet AstroTurf we were talking about earlier, but just really, really good kind of thinking on your feet moves there. Not an obvious place to do the job, but has got it done.
But Grossman has been running in the lead with a clear track ahead of him. All right, he's been consistently quick. Why has the rear end of his car, the tyres seem to have gone off so much quicker than somebody like Vadim Gitlin, who has been battle, and therefore pushing harder?
Yeah, it depends as well at the start of the race. Gitlin might have just been stuck in a bit of traffic and not been quite as hard on his tyres and so on. The other thing I'm not quite sure is how many laps. Obviously Grossman with the dry qualifying got his slicks on early to get out and do the lap time. Maybe he's had a few more laps on the tyres, but also a lot of it can just come down to car setup, and every team will have the kind of their own direction. They go with it a little bit faster at the start or faster at the end in terms of their the setup on the car. There's not a huge amount you can do on these cars. There's still enough to make a difference, and also just driving style.
Yes.
I don't know Gitlin at all. I have never met him and not watched him a huge amount on circuit, but if he's smooth on the throttle and things like that, power application, then it's really going to help him and look after his tyres. So maybe a combination of all of these things can make somebody stronger at the start or end of the race.
We're on to the last lap now, and of course there was talk that potentially this could be a damp race because more rain was forecast. Do you think they might have gone for a compromise setup just in case? Yeah,
there could have been a little bit of that, but I think the sun's been out. Sun's been out for long enough now to know that the setup, I think they'll all be on their dry setups, to be honest.
Okay.
I think it's been dry enough for an hour or so now, and the sun's out. I know there's a few clouds around, but nothing that we kind of expected. Heavy rain, I don't think, out of nowhere. So, I think just the combination of his driving, team setup, and everything else has obviously paid dividends.
So the race order: Vadim Gitlin, Bjorn Grossman, Ezequiel Perez Compact, who we are on board with for the race overall. In the AM category, it's going to be Gitlin, Perez Compact, and Giacomo Strata, the 1, 2, 3 in Pro. It's going to be Grossman, it's going to be Carzo, and it's going to be Alex Martin. But there is Bjorn Grossman and Ezequiel Perez Compact. I wonder whether Ezequiel Perez Compact will feel that he can just get on terms with Grossman on this, the final lap. It'll take a Herculean effort to do it. But he's taken just a look. Vadim Gitlin is away up the road in car number 72. What a great move he made on both Ezequiel Perez Compact and on Bjorn Grossman as well. A carbon copy through the final turn on both occasions through into the flat turn 11 they go. There is Grossman. Here comes Ezequiel Perez Compact at the final stages of this race. Is he going to have a go at Grossman to try and wrestle away P2 on the podium? He's certainly looking close enough, but I think Grossman, taking the very, very middle line through there, is going to just make sure that he holds on to this P2.
I was going to say, it wouldn't surprise me to see Perez Compact try a similar move.
Taking the win though, Gitlin, what a star you are. Brilliant drive from Vadim. Gitlin takes P1, P2 goes the way of Bjorn Grossman. P3 is Ezequiel Perez Compact. P4 it's going to be Dario Carzo. P5 will be Giacomo Strata. And P6...
Nope. That's Alex Martin just past Rocker on the last lap, but he's damaged. He's got damaged rear suspension.
Oh, is he going to be able to...
He's going to fight it to... Oh, they both have. Oh, there's... Oh, that's a race for the line, isn't it? Oh, God.
Well, hopefully we'll see that in replay as well.
They were fighting for position on the last lap, so I'd put my house on it that's been contact between the two battling for position rather than anyone else involved in that.
Well, that means Bertuzzi then took the final podium place in the pro category. Here it is.
Here we go. So Alex down the inside.
He wasn't on the track, Charlie.
No, his wheels were on the grass on the inside. I mean, he committed to it, so he was probably at that stage just hanging on, hoping Rocker was going to give him enough space to make it round. But it was an ambitious move by Alex. I don't know how. Anyway.
I don't think Roca is very happy about it.
Oh, God.
No,
I'd quite like to see a camera shot of that. There's our actually driver of the day, without a doubt, Gitlin now, I must say. I'm just looking down the pit straight. They're shouting at each other, but they're not fighting.
Good. Don't want to see that. So Gitlin takes the win from Grossman, from Perez Compact. The 1, 2, 3. So to give it to you in orders then, Grossman, as you can see, is the winner in the pro category with Carzo, and then Bertuzzi, who of course will now take P3 in the pro honours. It's Gitlin, Perez Compact and Giacomo Strata. Cars will all head down to Parc Fermé. Those, of course, that are still moving. Those that aren't will stay where they are.
It's strange how some races just bring a lot of people together, and some are boring. And this was one of those that was full of action, really, I would say, as a whole. But
well, Vadim Gitlin then, as we said right at the start of the race, didn't we? Tutored by Sergei Chukhanov, Ferrari Challenge champion for Ferrari Team Ukraine in the past. And, well, Cassel are pretty delighted with that, aren't they?
They're very pleased with that.
There's Ronnie Cassel. Christian Bertzinger then from Octane 126 with Bjorn Grossman. And Bjorn is very, very good driver, just wasn't able to hold on to it over the final laps, was he? And in comes Ezequiel Perez Compact with his helmet camera. Cars 6 and 97 to the stewards. So as the safety car took them around on the formation lap, the first race of the weekend for the TropheoPirelli cars gets underway, and it was a bold and ambitious move from Florian Merckx, which ended up taking him out, and Raffaele Giannoni potentially as well, although Giannoni was able to make more of his car and continued in the race. Florian Merckx having to retire the car. Wherever you look, there was action going on. Dario Carzo had got a lot of work to do from being further down the grid order than he would have liked to have been. As the pit perch looks on, Daniel D'Amato gets together there with Alessandro Vezzoni, and that meant Daniel D'Amato was turned around and off out of the grass and way down the order, and in the end would not finish the race. This man, Bjorn Grossman, in the Octane 126 car, was chased all the way by Ezequiel Perez Compact with a gap between them seesawing, but it was this man that was on a charge, Vadim Gitlin, who first of all took Ezequiel Perez Compact and then Bjorn Grossman. Another bold move, but a great move. 2 in a row for this man in car number 72. He picked them off right in the final stages of the race and then drove like a demon, building up a comfortable gap, and he was going to head towards the checkered flag. So that's exactly what he did as he turned turn 14, took the checkered flag, the win going the way of Vadim Gitlin. So podium to come next, and right, as I was saying just before we went into that, car number 6 and car number 97 report immediately to the stewards, and car number 88 report immediately to the stewards. Here's the race classification in terms of pro category. Bjorn Grossman, Dario Carzo, Bertuzzi, Alex Martin losing out on a podium. P4, D'Amato, well, ended up P5 effectively, but not classified. And the AM category of the Ferrari Challenge, TropheoPirelli will bring to you in just a moment, but it's going to be Gitlin, Perez, Compact, Giacomo Strata, then it's Hedman, Roca, Giannoni, Di Bernardi and Vezzoni. It's amazing that Giannoni managed to, following the impact with Florian Merckx right at the start of the race. Obviously it didn't cause any lasting damage to the car because he managed to bring it home. Yeah,
I mean, his speed after that didn't seem great, so whether there was a little bit of kind of underlying damage, but he kept going and yeah, did enough to have a decent race still. So yeah, it was a big hit at the start of the race as well, really big hit. So shame for him though that he wasn't involved in the actual battle for the lead, because yeah, he'll be disappointed at that starting. Was it P2?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Okay, so we're standing by on the podium. Alessandro is going to be down there to get interviews for us with as many of the drivers as we can possibly cram into the time that we have available in the program. Here is the championship then from the pro category. First of all, Daniel D'Amato, 5 points ahead of Dario Carzo, and Alexander Martin now is P3. Of course, D'Amato with no points from that race. Dario Carzo finishing P2 in the pro category. So he maintains his P2 position in pro, but of course narrows it right down, so it's only 5 points going into the race tomorrow, so that's going to be very interesting indeed. So Alessandro down there on the podium for us. Wonder who he's going to speak to.
Siamo qui con Bjorn Grossman, vincitore di questo round nella categoria Pro. We are here with Bjorn Grossman, winner of this round on PR Pro. Bjorn, what a brilliant race, fastest lap, pole position, incredible race. How do you feel?
I feel really good. We had a hard start with a little crash in the back, and yeah, it was really hard to drive today. The other drivers was really fast, and we are really happy to stay now on the podium.
It's your first time in this season?
This season I don't drive 1.5 seasons, so it's the first time for me, yes.
Thank you, grazie. Grazie, Bjorn.
Well, he's lost none of his skill for his 1.5 seasons away, Charlie, has he? Still being able to go out there and, you know, he's had a lot of experience in the Ferrari Challenge, so... Yeah,
when you know a car, and even if you're out of it, I'm sure he's driven on test days and been doing bits and pieces and coaching, and so you're always hopping in and out, so you never lose... you maybe lose the odd little bit of speed and takes an extra few laps to get up to speed, but he'll yeah, I'm sure he had no worries by the end of yesterday's practice.
So we look at the Octane 126 car then of Bjorn Grossman, and it was him that Alessandro was talking to just a couple of moments ago. We look at the paddock here and the AM Drivers' Championship then. Ezequiel Perez Compact leads that by 140 points to Giacomo Strata on 106, Alessandro Vezzoni 99, and Giannoni now on 89 points is P4. So another race, of course, to come for the TropheoPirelli cars tomorrow, as indeed for the Copa Shell cars, before we head off to the United Arab Emirates for the World Finals in Abu Dhabi in December. So looking forward to that. What a festival that is going to be, as indeed it is here, because it's all part of the Ferrari Racing Days event over 2 days held here at the Istanbul Park circuit in Turkey. So CourseGlianti.com is the website for you to check out all the information about the Ferrari Challenge. The podium is about to get underway. So it's the pro category first of all. National anthem time for Bjorn Grossman.
Потом 20 лет не ездил, сейчас.
So the pro category, first of all, for the Ferrari Challenge TropheoPirelli cars. And Constantino Bertuzzi receives his trophy. Vurulak then, the Intercity Istanbul Park chairman, making the trophy presentations to Dario Carzo, and then now to Bjorn Grossman, with the team's trophy to come to Octane 126 as well. Christian receiving that. And they will all pose for the photos. Pirelli trophy, first of all, of course, to Bjorn Grossman. And then it will be the AM podium. So the drivers celebrate then, the pro drivers from TropheoPirelli, as they make their way off the podium. The podium will be ready for the AM category. Someone there with a mop jolly quickly to clear up the mess. And Alessandro is pulling out another driver out of the hat for us. Here he is.
Ed eccoci qui con Vadim Gitlin, vincitore nella categoria IM. We are here with Vadim Gitlin, winner in the IM category. Vadim, is your second victory of this season. Great recovery, brilliant race. How do you feel?
I'm satisfied and happy. It was it is beautiful track. I like it, and that's why I was quite strong and quite successfully here.
Thank you, Vadim, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Grazie.
Thank you. Thank you. I dedicate my...
Oh,
He didn't quite get the dedication in, did he?
Dedicate it to somebody.
Yeah. Let him get in then. Ooh.
Definitely my driver of the race.
Oh, I
driver of the
agree.
day. Yeah, yeah.
I agree.
Really, really good job, and he could have easily settled for a comfortable class win then, but he
Banked
just
it, couldn't he?
yeah,
Yes.
got in front and drove away as well. So he certainly had the pace to win as well. So.
Well, he's enjoyed the track, that's for sure, and he'll enjoy the podium celebrations in moments from now as well.
Bit of glamour down in the paddock.
Isn't it interesting how the cameraman always manages to
Never picks us up, does it?
It's funny that, Charlie, you and I stand in the pit lane, just waiting to be pounced upon by a camera, and it doesn't happen. Not fair. Right. So we see some more slow-mos here. Daniel D'Amato didn't have the time of his season out there, that's for sure, in car number 25, as we now go to the AM podium. There's Ezequiel Perez Companc, and to our right-hand side on P3 step is Giacomo Strata, and here the man that Alessandro was just talking to, Vadim Gitlin.
Really happy podium there, isn't it? So it's always nice when there's nobody disappointed with their result. So
yes, you're right. So Vadim Gitlin's national anthem plays out now. So Vadim Gitlin, Giacomo Strata, Ezequiel Perez Companc all up there on the podium, and it's Giacomo Strata with his all-new pink livery on the car, which hasn't transferred to the overalls, you'll note, as Virulac makes the trophy presentations to Giacomo Strata, also to Ezequiel Perez Companc, and now to Vadim Gitlin.
So that's 2 overall race wins during the season he's had. So quite impressive, actually.
It is impressive, but it's what we were saying about the difference between pro and am drivers, isn't it? That, you know, it's quite close, isn't it?
Yeah, there's not much between the two, and certainly he drove like a pro today, so you know, well deserved. I think they enjoy that second Pirelli trophy. It's always one that's a nice little bonus for the winner.
Yes. So Gitlin holds his trophies aloft with pride, and so he should, as Ezequiel and Giacomo Strata all move in for the photographs as well. So the TropheoPirelli race done and dusted for today. Another race to come, of course, tomorrow, as well as another race for the Copa Shell category as well. He's trying to get a bit more fizz out of it. It's just not happening, is it?
Yeah.
Just not happening. So there they are, and we'll look forward to some great racing tomorrow. Who knows what the weather will bring tomorrow. The day started off very, very wet. It's ended up warm, humid and dry. Quite where we'll get to tomorrow is... we'll have to wait and see. So there is the sky at the moment. Blue skies, bit of harmless cloud around, but nothing has happened in terms of rain. There was an 80% chance of rain before this race. Didn't happen in the end, as we look at some super slow-mos once again, and this is Daniel D'Amato and Alessandro Vezzoni when they got very, very close together. And it was one of a number of incidents during the course of the race, which provided some great overtaking nonetheless. And much of it came from Vadim Gitlin. Bjorn Grossman, well, from pole position, he led the race for a good period of time, but wasn't able to hold on to the lead at the end. Abu Dhabi, 3rd to the 6th of December, is the finale, Mondiali 2014. Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates at the Yas Marina circuit. That's it for today, though. Join us tomorrow for more racing from the Ferrari Challenge. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.